Hello friends, now that you have your wintertime art supply bags, you can watch this little quick video and we'll give you a few ideas of the things you can do with some of the materials that are in your bag. First we have all these colorful paper circles, and what I've been doing is folding them up and cutting them just like you would cut a snowflake and using them as decorations around the house. Of course you can do anything you like with them. Secondly, we have how to draw a cardinal page. So what I'd like you to do is practice this a few times on scrap paper or computer paper, and then you can use one of those stiffer watercolor papers to draw your bird on, maybe give it some scenery. And if you outline your bird with a permanent marker, you can go ahead and use your watercolor kit that came in the bag and do a nice lovely painting. And you know, my one tip would be, if you want to paint your bird red like a cardinal, paint your bird, outline it, paint it first, and then let it dry before you paint the background behind it so that the colors don't bleed together. Next we have the bleeding tissue paper that's in your envelope with your white oil pastel. And what my son and I did is we made some landscapes using the bleeding tissue to color in the sky area. This one that I did there, here's one he did here, with this really beautiful, vibrant tissue. What happens is when you wet this tissue, it bleeds through onto the paper, creating really unexpected, nice, colorful areas. So what you can do is take some of this paper, arrange it any way you'd like, use as many or as few colors as you like. Try and get most of the page covered up with tissue for the most impact of color. And then what we do on a surface that is okay to get wet and messy, because sometimes this does drip a little bit, either use a spray bottle of water to wet it all down, or you can use a damp sponge. Get it all wet, set it aside, let it dry, and then what you'll have in the end would be something sort of like this. Of course, yours you might want to only do like I did on the top part of my page, so that this part becomes the sky and the bottom part is left blank to do some sort of a landscape scene. You can do like we did and put trees in it, or I've done this before where I put a little village back there. Anything you like. The next thing we have is this smaller page with a little waxy sheet on top of it. What you want to do is you want to make sure that this waxy page, the side that feels waxy, is touching the smaller watercolor page. And what you'll need is something sharp, some sort of a stick. I'm using a chopstick in this case. And choose a very simple design for this, because it doesn't come up with a whole lot of detail. It's just almost an abstract sort of effect in the end. So I just chose a little tree here. And this one, I'm just, for the sake of giving you an example, I'm just gonna do part of a tree to keep it short. And you really can't see what's happening here very well at all. I suppose you could use a pencil, a sharp pencil, because what we're doing is we're pressing really hard into our design and scratching it into the paper. And that's transferring the wax from this top page onto my back page. And what happens when you can't really see it there, but there is a little tiny triangle imprint. So what happens when you use your watercolor paints on top of it, it's creating what we call a resist. And I will show you what that looks like, just one second. It's not allowing the paint to stick to the paper anywhere that wax touched. I'll do a darker color so you can see that better. But I just scratched in a triangle, and do you see how it's taking shape right there? So you can do any kind of a simple design that you like there. Also in your kit you have a white oil pastel, and anytime you do a painting and let it dry, you can use those white oil pastels to create snowflakes or snow on the ground in a landscape. So go ahead and get creative. I hope you enjoy all the materials, and I hope you do some fun artwork over Christmas break. See you soon.